Welcome back. As I mentioned, we have Steve Hormuth here, who's here on behalf of our financial services. Well, Steve, welcome. Very nice to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
All right. Well, very interesting. We were just kind of talking a little bit before we went on. And you've had some international travel. I asked you if you had a finance degree, so you've got one in accounting. So why don't we just go ahead and start with where you're from and why you're here?
Sure. So born and raised in California. So I've been with VMS for going on 5 years come May.
Okay.
But yeah, a little bit of my background. So I graduated from San Diego State a number of years ago.
Did you now?
So local. And then quickly after that, I joined a public accounting firm. So I was with Deloitte & Touche for a number of years.
All right.
So I started off as an auditor. So I was there for about 3.5 years. And that's where I started my accounting career.
Okay.
Learned a tremendous amount from Deloitte & Touche as an auditor, learning how financials work, how businesses work. But after a number of years, realized that, so as an auditor, you're not necessarily an adversary, but you have an awkward relationship with the people who you're working with, right?
Right.
So I left there and I joined Pricewaterhouse, which is one of the other big CPA firms, as an internal auditor / consultant.
Okay.
So my focus there was on process improvement.
Okay.
So I spent a number of years there as well, and had a blast working there. And it was much more along the lines of what I wanted in terms of helping companies be more efficient, improve their processes, and yeah, it was just a lot better relationship.
Okay.
And then after I left there, I went to work in private industry. And I worked my way up from an accounting manager to controller in a couple different companies.
Okay.
But likewise, in addition to just running their finance departments, I also helped out with in process improvement as well.
Okay. But you've been here now. This is a different position for you. What were you doing before?
Correct. So again, in May of 2019 or 2018, I started here as the controller. So focusing on the finances, your typical processes, including payroll, accounts receivable, accounts payable. And then in late last year, so there was a little bit of reorganization. So our previous CFO left.
Okay.
So I took over as interim financial services director.
Okay.
So did that for about 5 months, and then we had another opportunity where my colleague Jose Campos stepped in, and he was the interim financial services director.
Okay.
So, and then a couple months ago, they went ahead and I was given the privilege to take over the job permanently.
Okay.
So I am the new director of financial services.
And what will that encompass?
Thank you. So it's running all the departments within financial services, obviously. So it includes your typical accounting functions, purchasing, the warehouse. But in addition to that, we have a lot of process improvements that we are scheduled for the rest of the year.
Okay.
So given my background, I'm going to be bringing forward a lot of our internal audits. So going forward, so we have several scheduled for the first quarter that'll be wrapping up in March.
Okay.
And then proceeding all the way through the rest of the year.
Okay.
But in addition to the typical financial services audits that we'll be conducting, we're also going to be doing some operational improvements throughout the rest of the company. So for instance, we're working on one in manor alterations. The next one will probably likely be damage restoration as well as recreation. So we'll just be working with the various departments through the rest of the year and tweaking businesses, kind of adding transparency wherever we can. And of course, if there is some efficiencies that we can, if a process involves 12 steps and I can help bring it down to 10, right? Save some time, save some money.
So how do you interact with the different mutuals that we have?
So from a finance perspective, we currently give a presentation with the 3 different corporations on a monthly basis. So, or at least with GRF, we meet every 2 months, and that is on the 3rd Wednesday of the month.
Okay.
And then for United and 3rd, so for United specifically, we meet on the 4th Tuesday of the month, and then 3rd is the following week.
Okay, so you would be in on each of those meetings, is that correct?
Correct. So I'm the staff officer on those meetings, and I'm typically the one who will lead off for the financials. So because Jose and I have gone through that past, say, 10 months of switching back and forth, so we're kind of giving ourselves an opportunity to present. So you'll see Jose a lot on camera, so when you're going to the financial presentations, He did a great job during his tenure as financial services manager, so there's no
Okay.
reason to take that away and
Okay,
keep
but then
giving
you
him those
also,
opportunities.
but then you also work with the directors of each mutual, right? So for instance, you know, Third, we used to have them come on,
Gotcha.
and that would be a finance report. But as of now, what we do is we have the actual president come on, or they have a person that they have chosen to come on.
Okay.
So if we don't have each of those come on, would you be the person that might come on every maybe quarter and kind of give us an overview?
Happily. So that hasn't been discussed as of yet, but if that's something that
I
we're
have elected
interested in
you
doing.
now.
If there was interest, absolutely, I would have no problem doing so.
Okay, I think that would be good because then we would kind of understand from a high level,
Sure.
you know, where you can just give us an overview of, like you just said, restoration and damage. You know, that might be something of interest to all of us.
Yeah,
so I think that
100%.
would be great. Now, of course, you mentioned many of these meetings, so they can go on the Laguna Woods Village website to find out about those, right?
Correct, absolutely. So they're welcome to come in person to the open session component of the meetings. So right now it's virtual, so it'd actually be very easy to log on via Zoom in order to access the meetings. But once we become back in person, they're welcome to join the meetings in the community center.
Okay.
And come through, ask questions, whatever they'd like to do. So, and we'll be happy to answer as best we can.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on your new
Thank you very
position.
much.
And go Aztecs.
Yes, go ahead, Stace. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And if you want more information about any of the meetings that Steve has mentioned, you can go to lagunawoodsvillage.com and you can find out all about the meetings. We'll be right back.